All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Unidentified Podcast. And today is actually very interesting. Me and Ed been talking a lot throughout the week. Uh, I know Negayan is a little bit out of the loop, but
Ooh.
there's been a few interesting things that Ed's been sending to the chat. And to not talk too much about it, I'm gonna pass it on to Ed so he can show us what he got right
You
now.
sure don't want to elaborate a little more? That's it.
Whoa, that made
Okay.
me curious.
Oh,
What we got?
this be kind of cool if you haven't seen this before. It's basically I just stumbled upon one of these YouTube shorts, Joe Rogan, and I don't know who the guest is. Never seen this guy before, but they found the AI translation of part of one of the Hitler speeches. And this is like done in Hitler's voice and all that. And I was always wondering, like, what was this guy saying? What's so bad about it? What's going on? Yeah. And I found another speech after this one. Just I was gonna play a little short piece from both of them. So here you go. Here you go, the guy. Check this out.
How they've translated into English now with AI.
They're going through it, yeah,
in
yeah.
Hitler's voice.
Yeah.
For correctness, and whether you believe that I have been doing
That's amazing.
that I have advocated for you in these years, that I have been decent, I have spent my time in service of my people. Now cast your vote. If yes, then stand up for me as I have stood up for you.
That sounds so much scarier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Nagayan, you speak Dutch. Like, isn't that real close to German?
It's very close to German,
So
and
you already knew what he was saying. Like, what's
not like to the word, to the T, but yeah, I get the gist of what he was saying.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, it's like Joe Rogan says, it's scary when you hear it, when you actually translate it. And I think the German actually accentuates the scary part of it because of his I think his belief in himself. That's the scary part. He had a big belief in himself, and
No,
you can-
but before you move onto that, can you tell me a little bit about like the speech, the language, the body movement? Because in my opinion, I don't know German at all, but in my opinion, the reason we find it to be scary is because German is very strong, very loud, very, very. You know how Dominicans talk? Like I feel like when people speak German, they actually like come out, do hand gestures, which to some people may indicate that you are mad, aggravated, or about to take some type of action. Can you tell me a little bit about that? You know about their culture or anything like that when it comes to expressing themselves?
I find it difficult to jump into that because when I see Germans, or my perspective of Germans is more of like very business, very formal, very
Okay.
very correct.
Mhm.
And that being said, it's not with a lot of gestures, not with a lot of hand gestures or bodily movement. Just their words are already very strong.
Mhm.
So in that sense, they don't need a lot of like their hand movements or to convey people to listen to them. So
Oh,
that's my
that's
perspective of
I
Germans.
wonder about that because I get German people all the time and they like look very alive, very animated like us. Also like Russian, like I come across a lot of Russian people at work and they too like that when they speak it's very like strong, very like, even when they speak English, like there's this Russian bartender I work with and she's like her personality is strong and people think she's mean, but I'm like, no, it's just a culture difference. You got to
Mhm.
make a jump and have a gap to actually understand
That's not the one
that
that
it's not.
tries to stiff you on your pay, is it?
No, no,
Okay.
Without mentioning names. But yeah, no, what I find is indeed what you say might be true, but for me as a maybe Westerner or being coming close to Germany itself, I don't realize or recognize it as much
Mhm.
as you would do. And what I would add to that is that basically what I wanted to add was that you have a tendency to yeah to judge another by your own perspective, and that's I think the but yeah, that what I wanted to add was in German people can be quite direct in comparison to Latin culture, and that can be very like intimidating and
Yes.
very straightforward is what I wanted to call it.
That's what I've seen. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So they will come to the point without skipping like the emotional part or skipping like the emotions from
Yeah.
it. And
Okay.
that's I think what Hitler I think very emphasizes a lot in his being.
Mhm.
He talks with his feelings a lot. He talks with his conviction of what he wants to achieve, and that's
Yeah, that's one of like I don't know if you saw in the chat, but that's what I actually said while it like when I watched it. Of course, finally understanding what he's actually saying, right? But this is what I said is this is a guy that although I don't necessarily agree with what he says, I can see how much he believes and what he is saying and how
But if
how
you
he follows his conviction.
if you don't
Uh-huh.
agree with what he's saying, what do you disagree with?
It's not like what he's saying. Like I agree totally with what he's saying. I think he believes in what he's saying, and he believes that his actions are like correct. Like he believes in his actions like 100%. This is why he says I've been decent. I've been good. I've been, you know what I mean? Like
Now,
I'm
now I'm
here.
fighting for you. Cast your vote.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And he believes in that. He believes in what he's telling you or his people, right? Although his actions may have hurt millions of people or whatever, what I'm saying is, this is a guy that actually did believe in the movement he started and the actions he uh, put out there. You know what I mean? Right or wrong in your eyes or whatever. I'm just saying he believes in what he is doing. Okay. He believes that he's fighting for his people regardless of what. I'm guessing that's why wars, I mean, other than like I said before, other than your egos, your personal egos and all these things, I think that's why you believe in following up on your words and starting a war, right? Because you believe that your side and what you think and all these things are the correct thing to do, and that's the example right here. Um, I'm very intrigued by this, and I want to see if there's more of this out there.
There's another one I got lined up, but it gets more like I don't know if you guys really want
but we haven't heard from
let's
your
see it.
perspective, Ed.
Oh yeah, go. That's true.
What was your take on this?
to. No, I just wanted to see. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I always thought the dude was probably speaking the truth, and he kind of was. Like, what was he
Sounds
saying?
like truth to me. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, even when the next one is it goes even further and he starts talking about the Jews and I'm sorry guys, like it's kind of like a man kind of spitting facts here. I don't know what's going on. You're not supposed to say that, but it's yeah.
He was ahead of his time, you would say.
Okay, careful with that, because I would like to keep this video up and going. Okay. All right. With all due respect to those who were harmed by what was going on, can we watch the other one?
I'm gonna play it just a little bit. I'm gonna go to
Yeah.
I think I'm not gonna play the whole thing's like 7 minutes, but I think there was some interesting like around this part.
With all due respect to those,
It's nothing.
please don't be offended. This is like research. This is informational purposes and all those things. Not at all to like be dismissive to anybody's feelings or anything like that. Okay.
I don't know. You might get lucky. It might not play.
I hope it does.
The rest of the world. In accordance with their own declarations, they cannot find a single reason to excuse themselves for refusing to receive this most valuable race in their own countries. Not, as its name alone shows, is Germany resolved to prevent the settlement in our country of a strange people which was capable of snatching for itself all the leading positions in the land and to oust it. For it is our will to educate our own nation for these leading positions, we have hundreds of thousands of very intelligent children of peasants and of the working classes. We shall have them educated. In fact, we have already begun, and we wish that one day they, and not the representatives of an alien race, may hold the leading positions in the state together with our educated classes. Above all, German culture, as its name alone shows, is German and not Jewish, and therefore its management and care will be entrusted to members of our own nation. If the rest of the world cries out with a hypocritical mien against this barbaric expulsion from Germany of such an irreplaceable and culturally eminently valuable element, we can only be astonished at the conclusions they draw from this situation. But how thankful they must be that we are releasing these precious apostles of culture and placing them at the disposal of the rest of the world, in accordance with their own
That's another thing that I heard about, that he actually tried to, what would be the word, exile them. They wanted to just put them in other countries, to exile them, but no other country would take them. That's actually how they ended up in concentration camps, because he actually wanted to, like, he's like, yeah, you guys take them, then hey, England, take them, France, take them, then nobody would take them.
Declarations. They cannot find a single reason to excuse themselves for refusing to receive this most valuable race in their own countries. Nor can I see a reason why the members of this race should be imposed upon the German nation, while in the States, which are so enthusiastic about these splendid people, their settlement should suddenly be refused with every imaginable excuse. I think that the sooner this problem is solved, the better, for Europe cannot settle down until the Jewish question is cleared up. It may very well be possible that sooner or later an agreement on this problem may be reached in Europe, even between those nations which otherwise do not so easily come together. The world has sufficient space for settlements, but we must once and for all get rid of the opinion that the Jewish race was only created by God for the purpose of being, in a certain percentage, a parasite living on the body and the productive work of other nations. The Jewish race will have to adapt itself to sound constructive activity as other nations do, or sooner or later it will succumb to a crisis of an inconceivable magnitude. One thing I should like to say on this day, which may be memorable for others as well as for us Germans, in the course of my life, I have very often been a prophet and have usually been ridiculed for it. During the time of my struggle for power, it was in the first instance the Jewish race which only received my prophecies with laughter when I said that I would one day take over the leadership of the state, and with it, that of the whole nation, and that I would then, among many other things, settle the Jewish problem. Their laughter was uproarious, but I think that for some time now, they have been laughing on the other side of their face. Today, I will once more be a prophet. If the international Jewish financiers in and outside Europe should succeed in plunging the nations once more.
See, that's the most important thing. International Jewish financiers.
Into a world war, then the result will not be the Bolshevization of the earth and thus the victory of Jewry, but the annihilation of the Jewish race in Europe. The nations are no longer willing to die on the battlefield so that this unstable international race may profiteer from a war or satisfy its Old Testament vengeance. The Jewish watchword, workers of the world unite, will be conquered by a higher realization, namely, workers of all classes and of all nations, recognize your common enemy.
If you have suggestions.
Can you go through this a little bit, Ed, and help me out?
And when he's talking about workers of the world unite, that's communism. And what happened after World War I, you had Tsar Nicholas II was overthrown and his family was executed. Okay, so that was the Tsar, the king of Russia. And the people who killed him, Lenin, Stalin, I don't know if it was Stalin, but like it was like basically all Jews. That was what the Bolshevik Revolution was. It was all Jewish led. And pretty much everybody in that cabinet, when they took over Russia, they were all Jews. So they managed to take over Russia, and they were trying to do the same thing to Germany. That's actually the truth. That's actually what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still trying to process all what is being said, and I've never heard this speech as clear as this. I mean, he has.
But like what
he
he's
has some
talking
bold
about,
statements, yeah.
It's not
And but
Jews. It's your international Jewish financiers. I mean, those are real people. I mean, the Rothschilds, people like that. I mean, that's legit. George Soros, he's another one. Like these are these. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of other ones, but those are ones I name off the top of my head. But yeah, and they
Can you explain this a little bit? Explain.
he states basically that if there is going to be a war, it is because those international financial Jewish financiers basically want or won't step down or want this conflict to happen for them to be able to take over.
or because they got
And
some beef that goes all the way back to the Bible or some crazy mess.
yeah, but that's exactly what he points out as well. Hitler in his speech is we have to stop believing that whoever the prophet was from the Jews, I forgot, but that prophet is, or that their God, the Jewish God, is the only God that we should listen to. It's not.
But he called himself a prophet. Why?
Well, because he knows what's going to happen to him. He knows what's going to happen to the Jews. He's saying that, hey, we need to solve this problem, and something's going to happen to you guys. We got to solve this. I don't know what he's saying. Like maybe these Jewish financiers, maybe they need to stop what they're doing, or this Jewish question will be settled once and for all.
Yeah, it was there, and somebody didn't back down, or he just went full blown for it, because, like he stated, the Jewish or whoever was laughing at him when he said he would take over the state, the head of state, and basically become president, or get in the position he would be, and he got there because of his beliefs and his ideas and ideals.
And the thing is this, man, in every group you got a bad element. You got the Japanese Yakuza, you got Chinese triads, you got the Irish mob, Russian mob. The Jews got their group too. It's these international, these international Jewish financiers, these Zionists. It's real. It's a real thing. And these are bad people. That's who Jeffrey Epstein. That's all that. Ghislaine Maxwell. Those are those people.
And this comes back to Mossad agents coming up forward. I think Mossad agents have some indication in what they were actually agents for the Jewish state or the Zionist state. I don't know what to call it.
It's the same thing.
To infiltrate countries and actually get people or blackmail them or get them to a point where they can be called anti-Semitic, and that was their goal. If somebody's loud, if somebody speaks up, if somebody says something we don't like, we just push them forward or push them down or get somebody on him, so quiet them down. To kill the opposition.
Yeah, but I guess some people fought back. That was a part of World War II there.
Yeah, but the extent that do you think that the extent at which the lives it took, the Jewish lives it took is
Well, I'm gonna tell you. Here's what I think about this. Okay, in my lifetime, right, paying attention to the wars that go on, either it be Iraq, what's going on now, Libya, whatever, they lie about everything, man. And I don't know what happened 100 years ago. They can't get their story straight on what happened this year or last year. I'm not trusting them when they tell me this and that and the other happened 100 years ago. I done heard many stories, many different, variations of what went down.
But what do you think? What do you believe? You don't think all these movies we seen, all these
Movies made by who, Angel?
No.
Movies financed by who?
I get it. I understand. But something happened, right? Something went down. Textbook they teach you in school, at least basics on this, right?
Who controls the education system? That's where they get you. That's where they get you.
But why? Why change that?
So you can't question
Change?
why. Here's what I think, man. I think the real reason that World War I told you guys this, World War One was fought because Germany at the time was a new country. It had only been around for like 40 years. You had the old powers of Europe who looked at it and said, yo, they're growing too much. They're getting too powerful. Their industry is too strong. They're going to take over. But they're going to take over in the right way by just working hard and being productive. And so they orchestrated a war, World War One, and they destroyed their industry, destroyed all of it. And they kept them down. That's what happened. Then you had the Treaty of Versailles, made them pay all these reparations and all that. The country of Germany went bankrupt, and they kept them down. And Hitler said, "No, we ain't doing this. We know what you did to us. We know it wasn't right." And then they rose up. And the Jews, they actually did play a part in that too.
Okay. I don't know enough on this. Like, I just know the mainstream actual story, so I don't want to.
Of course, like it's like
I know, and I understand.
whoever wins, that's who's gonna write history. You know, they're gonna like say, okay, you know, it was Archduke Francis Ferdinand, things got out of control, and you know, it was alliances, and we don't even really know why World War One was fought. This is literally what this we don't know. It's just, you know, Duke got assassinated and things just got out of control.
That's the pivotal point according to the books, to the
Okay.
textbooks.
I'm like, okay,
But
really? Like,
what amounted to that point? Yeah, that's
Look, I'm
like why was John F. Kennedy shot? Yeah, because he was being too loud. He was in power, and yeah,
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I see that.
So-
and that's why Hitler he ran into Germany, took that over, ran into I don't know what was the first country, Poland or whatever. I mean, this is why he started going into these countries, just taking them over.
they went to Poland first. Yeah.
And okay, so why start this culture of misinformation?
Oh, like what are they gonna tell you? The truth?
Why not tell us the truth? That
Because
was
the
a long
truth
time
is
ago.
that they orchestrated this war, that they're actually the bad guys. The truth is that, hey, maybe those Germans were maybe just defending themselves. Like you can't tell people that. You can't tell people that. Can't do that, man.
And what would have been different after that if we had told the truth?
Bro, you just, because then you're admitting that you're the bad guy, Angel. That's why
Right.
you can't do it.
The brand America or whatever brand you have
Yeah.
out there, like
But-
the American
But because
dream.
you was a bad guy today doesn't mean you stay the bad guy. and you
Angel,
be the bad guy
Angel,
forever.
the fallout from this is still going on to this day. There's this saying about NATO. They say the purpose of NATO is to keep America in, keep Russia out, and keep Germany down. This is what they always say, to keep Germany down. To this day, you got American bases all throughout Germany. To this
No,
day.
it's to be safe.
Yeah,
isn't
to
it?
be safe. Yeah, to be safe. Keeping them real safe. How many German bases do you see over here? I never seen no German soldiers over here.
Yeah, but like, okay, but we
Okay,
gotta
you
defend
believe that.
ourselves
You believe that
against
if you want.
the.
Yeah, the Russians who they literally do business with. Yeah, okay.
But I'm just telling you, like it's to prevent anything like this happens again in history. We gotta
Yeah,
protect
so we gotta
ourselves. We
keep
gotta
I mean,
bases.
if
You gotta
if the
keep
US is
safety
if,
measures. Go for it, nigga.
if the US is behind the explosion of the Nord Stream,
Yep.
how is they protecting us?
Yeah.
How is
It's-
the US protecting us?
It's
And
kind
no
of
one said
distraction,
nothing.
man.
No
They-
one said nothing.
Didn't they have to do that just to like take precaution, like make sure your economy, has a little stop there, you don't attack
No,
us. 'cause,
that's so
like,
we
now you
can't-
got other things to worry about, man.
Yeah, no, man.
All of this
It's,
is precaution, man.
Yeah, it's precaution to make sure Germany don't rise up again. That's the precaution.
Exactly my point. Because if it rise up, then what happens, man?
Yeah, but
We have peace. But if you grow too much, are you gonna be happy with what you currently have, or are you gonna keep fighting, or are you gonna create an issue?
I mean, I think
We cannot accept that. We see you over there. We see you. You growing.
Yeah.
You think you're strong. Wait, hold up. Little explosion stops you from attacking us, or us having to defend ourselves while we busy with other things. We busy helping other people, man.
helping is the word. Yeah, but I think if you look at it, the bigger theme of the picture, it looks like for America, the power is slipping away, and it's been going on for a long time. But now
And
things
then
are
there you go. Poor America, man. I'm telling you, they taking precaution, making sure you don't see the weakness there, and you don't come and attack us. I mean, the main point of our government is our safety, right?
No,
Isn't it?
no,
Is to keep us safe as the regular citizens.
no,
Like,
it's not. I hope you're joking.
what was the government instated for order, right?
Okay, that's what
For
it's
our
supposed.
safety,
That's what it's supposed
to make
be.
okay, exactly my point. To keep us safe, to make sure that somebody has to make those tough choices.
somebody
Right.
has to label a bad guy.
So you're saying they're justified in attacking Germany?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they make some choices. Somebody had to make the hard choices to ensure our safety.
Okay,
our
Angel.
economy.
So
Uh-huh.
going back to Nord Stream 1, you know why they blew up that pipeline?
Why they did? Why
So
did
the
they?
Germans wouldn't make a deal with the Russians and end the conflict in Ukraine.
And
Because
what
they want the conflict to keep going. That's evil.
Okay, but the problem is if their focus is no longer Ukraine, and we help Ukraine, who you going for next?
Who?
Let me say this again, okay? So we help the Ukraine defend themselves. First of all, defend themselves.
I hope you don't. That's not what's go. No. If you're
Well-
actually trying to help them, you'll say stop fighting and let's talk. Like if you actually were trying to help people, you do realize that, right? Like if I was trying to help you, Angel, as my friend, I would not give you a knife and tell you go out and fight. I wouldn't. I'd say, hey man, you need to be safe, stay in the house, and maybe we could talk this out. I wouldn't try and put you in harm's way.
But at that point we were past that. I mean,
Like you got like young boys out there just getting killed and blown up, man.
I agree.
They don't care about Ukrainians.
Okay, let me stop playing. Okay. Yeah,
They don't care about them.
the problem is if I ask you for information, you won't give me information willingly, okay? So I gotta, whatever. No, I totally disagree with what was actually going on, but I needed you to give me some information on these things, regardless of what. No, that is not my actual opinion, but there you go. Now we are informed. Thank you, Ed. I'll tell you this. I see you. I understand, but this is what they showing us. They show this with this hand, right, and then behind your back, they doing something else. And I mean, I'm just telling you, mainstream information is what I just told you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense if you don't look into it. We blow up your pipeline because your economy is strong. You have a steady income. You have a steady growth. Wow, what's happening with the U.S. right now? Their power is slipping. I mean, they trying. We had an episode on this. The U.S. power, you don't think it's slipping? The economy is rotating?
No.
Yes, I think so.
Absolutely.
No, you don't? I think so.
Stock market all-time highs. What are you talking about?
Nah, it's not playing.
It's not playing. It really is.
It's just
Well,
that season
you're not lying. Okay, stock market is doing well, but
every 8 years. it will
we
be
don't
doing well.
we don't depend solely on stock markets. You know what I'm
That's where all
talking
my
about.
money's at, man. are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about like the actual U.S., not Ed's pocket. Okay.
But like, if
Um,
you're like a wealthy person, like, don't where do you think they keep their money? It's like mostly in stocks and stuff, or real estate.
Yeah, but
whoever's wealthy,
not only the U.S. stock market. I mean, the Chinese stock market is quite doing well, prosperous as
Mhm.
well. I haven't checked into which companies are doing as
that's
well as.
well, that's where I was going with that.
Bro,
Okay.
I think I just heard that
Greed.
Nvidia itself is larger than the entire Chinese stock market. Just one company.
But the problem is not today, and you always
That's how
focus on
strong.
today.
That's how strong America is. To give you an example.
When we run the numbers, our main concern, okay, for if I'm a company, my main concern is gonna be my growth
Yeah.
and the competition's growth, right?
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, we see you.
But it's going
we
back
gotta-
to the original. America's power is not slipping. I know you guys like to think it's not happening, guys.
I think. How can I explain this, Ed? I think the problem is, you remember that episode I had on economy and how it switches hands every like 18 years or whatever?
Okay.
Every 50 years.
80.
80 years. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I say 18. Freaking out. Don't worry about it. I'm bad with names and numbers. Okay. So it was like about 80 years. I think some people feel it's about that time to like hand it over, man.
No.
We had an agreement, and you should be handing it over right now, man.
Hand it over to who?
That's who you think is next in line.
Honestly, man,
Mm-hmm.
there's nobody. It's us. Hopefully we get people in power who actually care about the country, though. That's all we need.
That is the thing, and if we don't, and we continue to have people who are worried about their own pockets, like Ed over here, we have some trouble. And you know, those who are wealthy would like to continue to be wealthy, and they like to accumulate more and more. Inflation is not a problem. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as me having too much money. Oh, I have enough. Let's worry about this now. That's not how that goes.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. But I think America's strong. We're doing just fine.
Okay, true wealth is generational, in my opinion, and that's how I see everything. Okay.
All right.
But that's that. Do you disagree, Nagayan?
Yeah, it's difficult to measure wealth in terms of if the US has the dollar, then and they can print the money, then that can be a concern for people that are trying to accumulate or build wealth.
Then we have inflation, right?
Yeah, the capacity to nationally correct inflation and internationally increase inflation.
It would never happen with the American dollar. With the dollar, it won't happen.
What?
No.
Why? Explain this.
Like we'll
the
have.
fact- yeah.
I said we'll have inflation, right? But we're supposed to have inflation. Like an economy is supposed to have inflation. You're supposed to have like 2% inflation. But what happened?
Are we at 2% right now?
No, right now I think they said the CPI report. I should be.
It's like 16.
No, it's like I
what
think
is
it's
it?
like I remember like last year was like 7, 8, then it started coming down. I think it's like at 5 or 4% right now. The inflation. No, it is. Angel, the CPI report was just like last week because that moves the stock market.
Oh,
So
okay.
I do actually pay attention to that. You have the
Okay,
CPI.
I only checked that last time when we
Yeah, so
when we did that
I mean,
episode.
you know, it probably actually is 16, but this is the numbers they give, and I hear that they fudge the numbers. But the thing,
So there you go.
yeah,
Go ahead.
but we'll never have hyperinflation like they had in Germany after World War One, Weimar Republic, where you needed a whole wheelbarrow of money to buy a loaf of bread. That never happened here.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, I see that.
Yeah,
but
the shift that's happening, that's what I wanted to add, is that a lot of countries are realizing that that the dollar was the currency they traded in, or they sold their goods in. And China and other countries are realizing like, oh, we are trading between each other, so why not do our own currency or
Yeah.
the currency of your country.
But that's what I brought up that last time, and
Yeah.
like
Bro,
how you
like,
don't how do you
I've been
how you don't
watching
see
like
that then?
actual financial guys who are actually experts on this, and they say
Okay.
it actually be impossible because there's something about like in order to have your money be like that form of exchange, you need your economy has to be open to foreign investment and all this other stuff that goes on. It gets
But
complicated.
shouldn't your productivity increase as well?
What do you mean,
Like, shouldn't people be interested in what we got too for that
Like
to
export.
continue? Yes.
oh, for them to want our money?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
like
for
no,
it to continue. Like,
we don't have to export things. What happens is that one, it's our credit rating. So when you buy bonds, so people buy our bonds, right? So in order to buy our bonds, you need to buy dollars in order to get those bonds. So people want
Yeah,
our
but
bonds because we have like because our country has like a really good credit rating, and they
Okay.
know
and
they
that's
can.
why it was passed on to the US and it's been since then, right? But I'm saying to keep a steady flow, p- exportation has to be
No, I'm
there.
telling you, like it. One, you don't have to export the bonds itself, and the fact that you can get a return on that money means that foreign investment, people who have to manage billions of dollars, are going to buy our bonds. And then you still got this what's going on with oil, and the fact that if you want to buy not just oil, but any other commodities like coin, it could be soybeans, coffee beans, whatever, it's traded in dollars. Like we
Yeah,
set this up. Like so if you want to buy a Toyota, a Japanese car, and you're in South America, you got to buy dollars,
absolutely.
give it
Yes.
to Toyota in
But
exchange it
I
like that.
keep
Like,
saying that that is today. That is conversation of today. Okay. But
yeah,
like Nagayan said, and like I've been saying, more and more people are realizing, hey, you
there's
treating
nothing they can do about it.
your treaty
But like I
your
think
trading deal is with us. Europe with Europe. Why are we using dollars to
and I
make
think
these trades?
Because America
your
wants you
own
to, and nothing you're gonna do about it.
yeah, your own point that you made a while ago is that when these African countries or these nations unite and realize that their
Mm.
resources are actually one of the biggest or best things to back money up,
Mm-hmm.
uh, then that shift will start happening. Of
Yeah, as
course,
soon
it
as
will
that
take some
happens,
time.
you get revolutions, or that guy
Exactly.
got
There
kicked,
you go.
he got assassinated every time.
It's still happening, indeed.
It's still happening. Absolutely. And that's where we headed, I think. But eventually the outcome will be the same. Doesn't matter. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. But that's
Yeah,
just my opinion.
it's not now, but it will come, and we don't know what time shift
Mm-hmm.
or time frame it will take.
What I heard what to do it is if an aircraft carrier gets sunk. When an aircraft carrier gets sunk, that'll do it. That'll signify.
Aircraft carrier,
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Because
like
that
an airplane or
the big
freight ship,
boats, the aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
the
You know.
freight ships.
You know them big
Yeah.
ships we got in
What
the
what the
fleet.
streets on them?
Yeah,
With the
Yes.
yeah. They say when one of those gets sunk, that's when it's over for the dollar.
Okay, but two things:
no
Houthis in Yemen and fiber optic cables, or how do you call them? Glass fiber cables.
no optic fibers is correct.
Fiber
I
optics.
mean the
Yeah.
fiber optics. What are you looking for? What are you trying to say?
Two things, and that the Houthis right now are uh, actually hijacking ships or in the Gulf, like in the Suez Channel, because right now there's a war in Gaza and Yemen is fighting back, or at least not Yemen, the Houthis
Mm-hmm.
that are actually the rebellious group active in Yemen,
Mm-hmm.
and they are actually making it harder for ships to come to Europe or to that Suez Canal because it's yeah they're hijacking the ships over there. So that's already a big, like you said,
Okay.
they don't have to sink it, but they can make it harder for them to do some routes or cross some easier routes that were made for them.
Mm.
And that's I think that the thing that also why there's war in Israel or Gaza, not only the oil that's in there, but also they want to build next to the Suez Canal. They want to build another canal that crosses through actually Israel right now, what's Gaza, and
Re-
have it as an alternative route
Really dig all
to.
that up and just dig a. Oh no, I didn't hear that.
They did the Panama Canal as well. I mean, I didn't say the Jewish did the Panama Canal, but the Panama Canal was made to actually make trade easier with
So
the US.
it's convenient that there was an attack and now they gotta go and just clear all those people out, huh? It's kind of convenient, huh, guy?
They're attacking Yemen right now. Yeah, they're bombing Yemen, like you said. I think in our last episode, and yeah, the Houthis have claimed, or they stated, or they challenged, or they said, once you keep on dropping bombs on us, we will actually cut up your network, your fiber optics network cables that are below the sea, on like very deep in the sea. But that's a big, yeah, gap, or how do you call it? A big that would take a lot of hash rate from the internet connection that we have.
Where
all
you hear
over.
this from?
I heard it from the news, I think, or I
Like
I saw it
mainstream news over there?
no, I saw it on Instagram. I think I forgot to share the post, but or maybe I've shared it with Julie Tony. But the Houthis are actually fighting back, and that's their attempt to do so. And I don't know how far they can get to the fiber optics cables and in which way these are connected, but there's some serious damage they can do.
Mm, okay. Ed, what we got? What you doing?
No,
You
okay,
ready
guys.
to move on?
Yeah, I think we've exhausted this topic. Let's see what we got next.
Okay. So next up, actually, and we choose to do this in this way because if you really think about it, all of these things represent a little bit of immigration throughout time. Okay. But when we speak of immigration, we got something a little more updated and a little more current. Um, Ed, okay, so Ed and Guyan, I actually asked you guys for a favor, and I asked you to like look up and look into immigration and the impact of immigration throughout the world, right? Uh, I actually decided once again to focus on immigration when it comes to Haiti, Dominican Republic, and anytime we speak of these things, one of the countries that are facing one of the biggest immigrant rates right now is also the U.S. So we're gonna be touching based on all three of these countries and the impact throughout. Okay, Ed, would you like to add to anything that I just said?
No, I think just keep going, and see where you go with this.
Okay, Nagayan, would you like to get started or how you want to do this?
Yeah, I think maybe it's a good thing if I start, because my part a little bit, or the video that I found has a little bit of the history of immigration into the US
Mm-hmm.
and from which countries they come, or from which regions, I would
Mhm.
like to emphasize. And yeah, the history of immigration in a slow but yeah easy way to understand. And it's not quite long, but we can pause along the way if we find dates, or yeah, that we would like to add, because it's just, I believe it's just imagery.
Okay, so which one is your video? This one showing right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look into it. Let's hear it.
Yeah, there's no description sound, so we can actually talk over it, because
Oh.
the start of the US. Oh yeah, there's some description to it. There was a lot of Irish, German, and English coming over,
Mm-hmm.
and then due to the slave trade that started, A lot of African nations or African people
Okay,
were.
this is actually giving us a timeline. This is prior 1790 and
Yeah.
1820s. Okay, keep going.
After that, the Industrial Revolution, a lot of people came over to actually work in factories and work in the industry from Europe, throughout Europe and China as well, exactly. The gold rush, I don't know if you guys remember that, but the gold rush was actually the rush of gold when there was actually found a lot of gold in the US, but also a lot of fake gold, pyrite. Yeah, I think it's self-explanatory. The trains made it also for Asian people to work a little bit more. Then after that, because of a lot of Asians coming into the country, they banned it
Oh, that's what that
with an
was.
act. Yeah. I don't know who set up the act, but
Probably says too many Asians, y'all taking over.
Mhm.
and this is in World War One, I think. A lot of Jews fled, Russians, Mexicans. After that, the US stated quotas to reduce the flow of immigrants. And the Depression and the start of World War II actually slowed down the immigration. So there was a lot of war going on, and this slowed the immigration down. After the war, the US accepted over 400,000 immigrants, probably from Europe, from Jewish descent, I guess. Quotas were removed, and Asian immigration, actually, I think it's 1 million in that time frame, or almost 2 million. Asian, oh wait, it doubled to 5 million, or almost tripled. Ronald Reagan signed the Immigration Reform Act. And yeah, then we come to 2000, where we are right now. And the Caribbean also came a lot of immigrants back in that day. So, and they said, fact is 1 in 8 Americans are immigrants or are of children of immigrants,
Descendants.
descendants, yeah. And less than 2% of the US population are actually native. So that's a quick recap of like the history of immigration into the US.
Mm.
And
Thank you,
you
Nagayan,
can
for
see,
that.
yeah, you can see at times of war how that also impacted the immigration policies and things that were made. And also when the economy was boosting and booming, it attracted also a lot of immigrants into the US.
Okay. Do you have anything to add? Because I don't want to jump into your material, Nagayan.
No, basically what I wanted to add is a little bit more of detail from what's the pros and the cons of it. But I think maybe it's best if you come in with your perspective of what you got.
Of this so far?
Yeah.
Okay, so I do have a few questions, and I'm interested in mostly Ed's opinion, because I know you have something prepared. But look at this, Ed, you are American, right? You see the numbers. I mean, these are large numbers throughout history, nonstop. Okay.
Yeah.
I have two questions for you. First question would be, man, what would have happened if these immigrants didn't come into the US? And I'll give you an example of why I'm asking that. And the second question is, like, why stop now? Why is such a big concern today? Okay. Now, the reason I asked the first question is because it's known, right? Like what the immigrants did for this country is big, is huge, actually. Changed the course of history, it changed the speed in which the country was actually developed. You understand? Uh, and this is from the bottom up, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. From the poorest person, meaning people who work doing things that people didn't want to do that were already living here, factory jobs, working overtime, doing this and that, to the Jewish, not the German Jewish, the Nazis or whatever that are said to have had a big hand in developing like rockets, nukes, and also rockets to go, to the moon or to outer space,
NASA,
however
yeah.
NASA. There you go. Oh my goodness, thank you. Um, can you give me some information or an opinion perspective on these things? First of all, you think these are valid questions? Like, are they good questions?
Like what would America be different if there were no immigrants, or were immigration like a net positive? Like, is that
Like, now that we know like what immigration throughout history did for this country, or what would have happened if we didn't have it, or that's a big question for you to answer in whichever way you can, or you feel like it's more important to address with the time we have.
no?
You need
No, I think you can. I just think it's not a problem. The problem is illegal immigration. Like, you're just trying to say immigration is immigration. Like, no one ever said immigration was a bad thing. It's a good thing.
a lot of these people that came from Italy in boats were illegal. Just to use Italy, I'm sorry for Italians, but a lot of them were illegally, not shipped, but traveled here illegally, and that's just using Italians. Okay, for an example. But like throughout history, a lot, and it's known that even like I said, Italians, the Nazis were brought here by force. That's not legal, as far as I know.
Stop playing war games, man. You know what I'm talking about. Look, if you come here and
Mhm.
look, you can come here, but just go through it and make it legit.
Eventually,
no one
I
ever
mean,
said people can't come here. Like, no one ever said don't come here. It's like, hey, all right, just go through the process. That's all.
okay, but let's address this. Like, okay, so was it a good thing? What would have been of America if they didn't come
It's
in?
better
Like,
to have people come here.
okay,
Yeah.
you answering this very like simplistic and
Because
dismissive.
it is. It's like, of course, like, you got more people, right? Like, it's better to have them come here, right? I mean, but if you got like the problem with immigration nowadays is that you're bringing a bunch of people from like third world countries, and they don't really contribute anything, and they're sneaking into the country, breaking the law already. So it's like, that's showing me right there what quality of human being you are if you're sneaking into the country. Why don't you just come?
We always had that problem. And we have both things. We always had that problem. That's the first thing. Immigration is immigration. Like when people migrated to the U.S.
No one ever there's no issue with immigration. It's people who are sneaking into your country, who are breaking the law, already breaking the law. Like, nobody wants that. That's not a good thing. It's not even good for them, because like, how are you going to work if your paperwork ain't right and ain't nothing right? Like, how are you even getting a good job? How can you really contribute?
But before we go that way, can we step back a little bit? Just step back for a second, okay? Let's speak on immigration back then, real quick. Can we do that for a second?
Okay.
Yeah, no, maybe
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
So tell me about your opinion. The beginning, when we were still working on the structure and the of the U.S.
When there were no quotas, you mean, or before there was really a balance between what came in and
There was always
Before
quotas.
that,
There was
yeah.
Who
always
came
all
to
that.
us?
Like, they didn't want just anybody coming here. Like, it was I think
that
they
is
only
true.
accepted immigrants from Europe. It wasn't just anybody could come here.
Well, yes, that is true. But what I'm saying is, like, okay, people came in without papers a lot of time. Okay, back then, you did say something about the quality of people, and that I believe that is key to this whole situation in general, right? Quality of people is not the quantity so much, because back then, we did need people to come in for the better, the improvement of the development of the country itself, right? At some point, or at what point did we decide, okay, this is enough, okay, this is how we're going to start regulate, okay, no more people coming in, well, not no more people, but like just a certain amount of people? And what did that do to the structure of the country itself, is what I'm saying.
To limit the amount of people?
Yeah, well, so once you put in a process that's like very like rigorous is what you say. Like, let's say if I was,
Rigid, yeah.
if Nagayan was to put in like for a citizenship here, a lot of times it takes 5 years. That's because there's a limited of visas or citizenships that are given per year. You know that, right? You know how that works?
No. I was just here. But I take your
Okay.
word for it. I take your word. Sounds legit.
No, that's how it works. It's not my experience in general, but like I know a lot of people who like had to go to the actual process. Okay,
Yeah.
I actually have a brother-in-law that's how he came. He had to wait like 2 or 3 years for them to even see him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's because they got a control, and there's a amount of number that they say yes and no to, and you go through several interviews for them to actually like consider you for the spot. Okay, and that's good. That structure, that's quality control, I would say, right? I don't know. I just wanted your opinion on these things, and I'm not getting quite your opinion, which is okay. But if you want, Nagayan, you have something on this?
Yeah, basically what I've found so far and what I've really looked into, it is not a bad thing to have immigrants come into the country.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically the overall consensus. It's not a bad thing to have immigrants into your country, but what is what is put in strain is several factors, and the cons to it is the welfare system that's already in place for the people that are living in the US. The system needs to be able to like capture these people or have these people put on, not per se on welfare, because the consensus is that these people will also want to work, want to provide, want to be able to build something in the country. So, and one of, I think the number was 6 out of, no, that's in the UK, but 1 out of 8 people starts the business. It was way more.
Yeah.
And out of 8 people starts a successful business, which in the end will need employees to be working for them, and that will be national people from the US or wherever the country is,
Which
to be
means
working for them.
a steady stream of economy growth. Okay,
Exactly.
You are hiring people. You are. It makes economy grow, especially when you have people who speak other languages and stuff like that. It brings growth to whatever area these people are like starting their business or living or consuming, right?
Yeah, but indeed it puts a strain on the welfare system.
Yes.
Also, another con is it heightens the competition for the jobs that are actually already there, available. Also for housing, so bigger, people need to stay somewhere, so the housing prices go up, and the education opportunities become a little bit more limited, because if you have 10 people from the US that all have the same mindset, and some children from immigrants or even immigrants themselves come in, and they rock, like they get A's, straight A's, they get the system, they perform better, they're maybe bring a little bit more intelligence into the system. I don't want to put it, open-mindedness is maybe the word to put it. Then it makes the national Americans like score lower, or the average goes up in the education system. So to achieve better, you have to have better grades, and to have better grades, you actually are competing with more people that are capable of putting in
Well,
or
okay.
learning.
But okay, so two things to that, and that's very interesting that you say that, and I'll tell you why it's interesting. The reason I say that is because usually when these adults come into the country, right? Mainly the immigrant illegal ones, right? They're taking the jobs that Americans don't want to do.
Yeah.
Now, this is if you want to look at it generational, we can do that. And that's where it comes into place what you just said, like the education equals better opportunity and less opportunity for the people who have actually been here, right? But that's a generational thing. Let's talk about today, right? Today we have a certain amount of immigrants coming here, and a lot of times, let's say they're Mexicans and they want to do construction jobs, and they want to do construction, cleaning, anything that's like super simple that can earn them a living. Most of these people are coming in with a dream and with no ill intention of harming anybody, or they mean no harm or danger to anybody else. They just want to earn enough for them to, like, some of them have a business oriented mindset, but most of them come in with the mindset of, I'm gonna make this amount of money. Once I do, I'm gonna build my house and all these things, and I'll retire
money
and go
back.
back home. Yeah. And once I'm done with like helping my mom out, my dad out, and all these things, what I'm gonna end up doing is retiring back at home. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It happens very often. I'm saying this to say this because I know cultural wise, you have a lack of understanding of our culture, okay? And it's not just you, it's a lot of people, right? But the problem is, and the issue lies in the help. I mean, us giving the help that people who have been living here, been building here, been here for a minute. I think it's too great for those who just like arrived. And I understand and I get it. We gotta extend a hand, but when you overdo it, it just brings conflict. Does that make sense? And in New York City, they were presented, and I said this before, with a shelter. Okay, the immigrants from Miami were getting pushed out, and there was new rules and regulations, which they actually found out very quick that immigrants are a necessity nowadays. Okay, because now labor is a lot more expensive. A lot of jobs are not doing efficiently, are not being done efficiently. Does that make sense? Now they push them out of Florida and they send them to the city of New York, which is now considered like a refugee or whatever. And they are being put in like expensive hotels. Their food is being paid for. Their housing, their electric bills, phone bills, and all these things are being paid for, which is actually causing issues with the people who've been working very hard. And I understand it, and I get it.
And this is the next point I have, because it's
Oh,
puts a social strain on the actual groups that are already there, and also on the groups that are forming because of this. They tend to have like, okay, we have to stick to each other. We have to stay American, and we Americans have to stick. Yeah, keep them out. Keep the other nationalities out, because it will in fact affect us in a negative way.
Yes, I would agree with that. And you know what? It's very true. I get it. And feel free to jump in at any given time whenever you want to say something. I would love to hear what you got to say on this, okay? On these things. And okay, so New York City takes these people in, and not everybody is good. And the problem I'm seeing is, like, let's say for example, Dominicans. Dominicans are actually sending to Dominican Republic motorcycles, illegal motorcycles here in the U.S. and all these things. A lot of Dominicans, unfortunately, are like selling drugs. They are known for selling drugs, causing chaos. there's a lot of people from Venezuela who are forming bands. Bands? No,
Gangs?
like music. Gangs, bad groups, okay? And they're currently like robbing people. They are robbing people for their cell phones, shoes, money, all these things. And I get it. It's bringing a lot of stress and a lot of chaos to the situation in New York City right now, right? But okay, like I said before, we have people over here who they just want to send the money and do all these things. How do we filter this, Ed? How do we do a better job with these illegal people, man? Because it's very hard to stop them from coming in.
No, it's not.
But no?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
No, they're
explain.
letting these people come in. What do you mean we can't stop them from coming in? Like
Explain this.
they're intentionally letting all these people come in here, and these people, they're a lot of times.
Why is that?
Bro, I don't know why, man. People say we got forces in here that are really trying to take down America. Like, I don't know. I don't know, but they're letting these people come in here. They're undocumented. We don't know anything about them. No paperwork, no nothing. And it's just like these people from all over the world. It's like, no, you shouldn't be coming here, man.
So you don't think that this is like a what you call it when you an insurrection, like
Insurgent.
like
Like
to
invasion?
no,
I know
like
it's not that bad.
when you do something like hidden for it to have a chain reaction and people get busy doing this while we do that. I mean, if we create chaos, those who don't like immigrants at all and don't like, I don't want you to act like that's not true, Ed, because I had people who send me back to my country for no good reason. So we do have those. As a matter of fact, I told you the story of the person who told me my accent is not an accent. It's due to me being drunk. You remember this?
Yeah, I remember.
There's people like that out there. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say those people plus the immigrants who are just coming in here in like crazy numbers. It just doesn't make no sense. And what you are saying actually does make sense, that they just allowing these people, they want them to come in.
You're not sneaking in here. This is America, okay? Like,
No. You there's people who are sneaking in.
Airways,
Not,
but
yeah, but
percentage-
not on these
if we
numbers.
legit want to keep people out of here, we could keep people out of here. That's like
Just
the
middle
January 6th. Oh, they really ran up into the Capitol. But no, if they wanted those people to be kept out of there, they could have kept them out of there. Okay, like come on, you're not going up against America. Like it's not happening. If
But
you
that's what
got
I've-
through, it's because they let you through.
That's what I've been seeing some videos of people actually going towards the southern border. And of course there's some guards at some points of the border. But then they drive like kilometer or miles.
You know
several
how
miles.
much money it would take to police this actual border?
How much money did we send to Ukraine? Would it take
I-
that much?
Okay.
But do we have
Not
the
even.
manpower though?
Not even.
Money.
Yes,
It's
if
money.
you send to stop
Money.
sending people
It's money.
overseas.
Manpower is
by
money.
force.
It's money. You're just talking
Okay.
money.
That's fair enough. Thank you for your point. I appreciate your point because it does give perspective, right? We are more worried about that than actually like policing our borders, and I get it. I understand it. Now, this is the thing. Like one of the facts, and this is a fact. Well, you are actually saying it's not. Well, something different, but I'll explain this. One of the facts is that I don't see anybody trying to like come in and overtake the government or overtake like the land itself or like an internal attack or civil war
Bro,
itself.
even if you did see it, you wouldn't even know that you're seeing it.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. What do you think that George Floyd mess was? That was you had a faction within the government that was orchestrating that whole thing. What do you think
that's within the government? No. I'm talking about like immigration. Like, let's say a whole ton of freaking Mexican come in and like, oh, we're gonna have the city back. We're gonna take it back.
Bro, they
like,
were doing that.
Mexico was doing
Yeah.
that? Hispanic people.
Yeah, they were. On some Hispanic supremacy type mess.
Really?
Yeah,
Where was
really.
this and when?
They do that down south on the border. Yeah, they do.
Fighting
How is their land? This is ours, and
It
we
is
don't
theirs.
want your
It is theirs. Okay. Historically,
your kind here.
is their land? They were killed and murdered and massacred for those pieces of land. As a matter of fact,
It's their land. No, it's not.
memory and memory of this, I'll tell you how is their land.
No, it's not their land.
California,
Oh
California,
my goodness, man. That's not how the world works. It's not their land.
San
Your
Diego.
ancestors lost the war. Get over it.
Oh,
New people
that is
came
true.
in now. Like,
No,
end
no,
of discussion.
I don't care. Like, you're
Like,
gonna do anything for me, like,
ain't nobody. It's America's, okay? Because America,
Look,
they came
okay.
in, they killed your ancestors. That's it.
Okay.
Who set up the borders? And that was a treaty that was made.
Who set up the borders? That wasn't a treaty that was made between anybody. You won the war and you say, "Hey, I declare this as mine," and that's it. You won. If you
But
won, you make the
they're down
rules.
there.
Like
They do that. They do that.
there's nothing more true than that. You win. You get to tell the story. You win. You set the rules.
Yeah,
That's
but
it. You
they're
got the
down there
power.
talking about they're better and they don't want you there and they don't like it. People be getting down like that.
What? What are you talking about? Explain this to me, Ed.
Mexicans, they be doing that. I'm not saying all of them, but you got the ones who do that.
No, who? You talking about the cartel?
No, I'm talking about just the regular people who be down there.
Like Mexican nationals.
Yeah.
Because right now the cartel is only focused on the border, like the drug treaty borders and stuff like that, and you know how that goes, right? But okay, regular Mexican U.S. Citizens,
No. Yeah, Mexican.
they out here trying to overthrow.
Oh, they're
If
not.
that's true,
No.
if this is as true as you say it is, why are we not focusing on defending our borders instead of focusing on defending some other people when our
Mexico
own
is in
country
that
is
trade.
getting attacked?
They're not
Mexico is-
overthrowing. It's just an attitude. It's waving flags. It's all type of stuff like that.
As an attitude, okay, waving flags and saying we taking over.
Yeah.
It's a serious question. I'm not being
Yeah.
sarcastic or
Yeah,
anything.
legit.
I have
Oh,
not seen that.
Parades and everything.
Okay, listen.
But it would be in the light of like the Ku Klux Klan and like movements like that.
Help me out, because I never seen this. I mean, I'm missing out, and I tell you all the time, I'm not that informed. I'm not that smart. Politics is not my thing, but I have not seen this. Where did you see this? How can I find this information?
Bro, they're down there doing it, okay? Trust me.
Okay, nope. Okay, no problem.
First hand
Well-
accounts, all right.
Okay, well, all right.
Down
It
in
must not.
Texas and all that, they do that.
Mm.
Like they have businesses, they only hire Mexicans. Like, yeah.
Okay, that I can see. What else? Give me another example. But I don't see that as overthrowing anything. Like
I never said they were overthrowing. It's just like they just got that type of attitude. Like you don't belong here and all that type of mess.
That's not my experience. Like
I'm not
But-
saying
okay.
all Mexicans. I'm saying like you got the ones who are down there, like on the border, who do that.
Okay, cool. All right, and this is other than the fact that the government is actually like.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Other than the fact that the government is actually out here like helping and overgiving, I would say, these illegal immigrants and like overextending themselves to help these illegal immigrants.
Yo, did you hear about what was it, about 2 years ago? All those immigrants that had the caravan going up through Central America, going up through Mexico. It was a whole bunch of them. You remember that, don't you?
Explain this. No,
You
doesn't
don't
ring
remember
the.
that. It was a caravan. It was like millions of them. They were coming from South America and they were from all over the world. They were just going right into America. And they were talking about they were going to give each family $250,000, each one of them.
No, but if that's the case, I'll go to Mexico and come back and act like I just got here.
Oh my! You forgot all about that. Yeah, that was. I don't know if
Don't
you were
forget the
there.
caravan.
But it was
No,
recent.
I
Like,
don't think so. Though.
what happened with that? What's that money? Where did it go?
I don't know. I don't know if they gave it to him. I don't know what happened. But yeah, yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I don't think that ever
Bro,
happened.
that
But
that did happen. What do you mean that didn't? That was all on the news. Yeah.
oh, so today you trust the news, huh?
You got to know when to trust them, man. Got to know when to trust them. All right.
You gotta filter it.
Yeah, you got to filter. It.
Okay, that's
Filter
amazing.
the bullshit and
The guy that's always like criticizing me for watching news. I don't even
By the
watch
way-
news, but
Oh yeah. Oh, you gotta pull it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm
Oh.
trying to pull it up.
okay, no, that would be great. I'm not saying, but I never seen this. I never heard this. I never seen it.
Anyways, but yeah, you were bringing exactly the points that were my pros to immigration back to my cons. So you were adding to the conversation what I had already in mind. So thank you for that, Lito.
Mm.
Yeah. Basically, my last point was there was would be some decreases in wages in low income jobs because
Yeah.
there was more actual people willing to do the jobs with low income.
Mhm.
But in
It's okay. It's like having your own Chinese factories, sweatshops here in the U.S. That's equal to
that's
that
how it looks. Yeah.
without shipping and handling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then it would increase wages in specialty jobs. So your wages would increase in other jobs because people would be able to do those jobs or actually be qualified to or get a degree or study
Mm.
or through experience get to move to other positions that are
Mhm.
actually also needed in this society. So for the specialty jobs, it would also mean an increase in wage. So all these cons in immigration show there's also a lot of pros to it, and each con can be put out with a negative with a pro to the conversation. So
Mhm.
yeah, to keep in mind, immigration is not something bad. If it happens in a big number, it puts some strain on the actual systems that are in place. But in the long run, it means more opportunities, more
Yeah, but
taxes to be
it's only opportunities for the descendants
really want.
of those parents who are actually here to do good, because I mean, numbers show that if your dad came in to like do bad things, chances are you will follow on those footsteps. And I get it, and I understand, and you know what I mean. Once I mean, your dad can be deported for doing bad things, but your son that was born here, what we do with them? Life
Put them in the
prison?
criminal system. Yeah,
But it's costing us money. It costs the
exactly.
U.S.
But
money.
and that's the risk they take with accepting these immigrants because yes, you have companies, big companies, and in each big company there's either an immigrant or a descendant of an immigrant in one of the top positions.
Absolutely, I agree.
So yeah, if this is the contrast, if you have to have like 1,000 of them in the criminal system, but like 10 grow up to have like $1 billion companies as
But
things they
if
run.
out of 100 immigrants, 12 of them are successful, I don't think that's a fair trade. I mean, it costs a lot of money to actually like police these high crime areas. It costs a lot of money to like for the jail thing, like what would you call the system, like the whole incarceration.
Look, guys, just summing up right now. Like, nothing's wrong with immigration. Immigration is good, just not mass immigration of a whole bunch of people and you don't even know who they are. Okay. Like, yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. No one ever said there was an issue with immigration.
Well, you're wrong about that. I keep coming across, big amounts of issues that people are having with immigration and.
Well, that's the problem they're having is that it's mass immigration of like just shipping in like hundreds of thousands of people and trying to replace the native population. That's the problem. Like, yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
So, okay. With that being said, I'll tell you this. Would you like to continue on this? Because I got something on Haiti and Dominican Republic. Should we
No, we shouldn't.
pass on to that?
Let's just move.
Huh?
Man, you already been on this for about an hour.
Okay.
But this was the biggest topic, though.
It was the biggest topic.
Andrew,
I
you
wish
gotta know, man. You gotta just.
I wish we would have had it differently, okay? But okay, so before we had an episode on this on Haiti and Dominican Republic, and this is the thing, okay? So far this year, okay, in January, I think 20th, no, first month, yeah, January. There was a study that actually showed that there was an increase by 13% on Haitian immigrants having birth in Dominican Republic, which brings us up to and these are like some numbers of like depending on what area, okay? So in total, okay, in the whole country is up to 35%, 35.8% of birth being Haitians in Dominican Republic. And I'll explain this. So it depends on no, not 35, 94%. Okay.
What? 94% of what?
Of if you go in total in the country, okay, is at 94% for the
Haitian birds.
and birth, illegal Haitian birth in Dominican Republic. But these are in the border areas. I'll mention the areas in a second, okay? So in the municipio, how you say this?
The municipal. I don't know the word. How do you say it, Ed?
Yeah, municipal.
The county. Yeah.
Municipal, okay. The county municipal, okay, of Pedernales is up to 64% and birth, Haitian birth, in the hospitals, okay, and the Jabon would be 62%, okay, of Haitians. Montecristi is up to 59%, and this is this year, okay, and Santiago Rodriguez would be 56%. In Santiago de los Caballeros, which is the main city where we fought against, like it's considered the city of restoration. Does that make sense? It's the city that's the most proud. The people that actually fought against the Haitians back when are that's that city, okay, and instead of like I don't want to say like getting rid of them, the numbers are increasing, okay, per year, like about like a freaking 8 point something% per year, okay. And then what I'm trying to say with this is when it comes to Haiti's economy, it's been overthrown and it's been going down to 2.2% per year. This year is projected to go down 3%. Okay, for the last 6 years, or what is going on 6 years, 5 years, it's been going 2% down, okay, per year. And Dominican Republic, we had this conversation before. Diane, is a Dominican Republic economy has been going up a steady 4.5%. This year is projected to be a solid 5, okay. For the 24-25 turning into 25, okay. And the problem I see with that is that the Haiti is currently having an issue with these band, what you call it, with vandalism, these, if you want to call them, like these sort of cartels that are controlling like the economy. They are robbing people for like the things that are exported or imported. They keep taking a piece of this and that.
Where are we going with this? Man.
Here I go. You ready?
Okay, all right.
So Haitians are actually like currently fleeing in large numbers. We already had this conversation, right?
Okay.
To the Dominican Republic. So the U.S. actually took an interest on what's going on here.
No shit.
So
Guess
they
what?
went. Why?
What's in the Haiti?
Okay. Well, we get in there. Okay. But
Oh, yeah,
before
but
we
it-
even-
You gotta get there. Let's go.
but listen to this. So the U.S. Government sent military forces to set camp to help
Of
Haitians
course.
in the Dominican side. So they set in camp, like helping camps in Dominican side without talking to the government. They just like touched ground over there, started setting camps, and the Dominican government was like, hey, what's going on? And they told the Dominicans, hey, this is what we are doing. We are setting camp here, and we're gonna allow these Haitians to come in, and we're gonna help them, and we're gonna give them free medicine, food, housing, and all these things. And this is a humanitarian
aid.
aid, okay,
Kind of.
to these people, okay,
Yes.
Ed, and well, this is out without consent, without approval, without anything. They telling Dominican government what they doing. This is what's gonna happen here. And you already know the Dominicans are not gonna argue, so they set to the side and is causing issues, okay? And these numbers keep growing, but now that the borders are essentially like welcoming the Haitians and all these things into the country,
Yeah.
these numbers are gonna. There's no way of measuring these numbers now. So, if Haiti numbers for economy is going down a steady 2%, and ours is going high to a 5%, listen, and this has happened before. What happens is that they aid the Haitians in our side, and we don't have no issues. Dominican Republic actually offered to aid them too, but on their side of the border. But they like, no, we telling you what it is. This is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
We bring them in here, we help them out and stuff like that. Why not get rid of the essential? I'm sorry, go for it. Yeah.
No, I'm trying to get going with the thought and the thought process what you're going with and what's actual point. That's what I'm trying to.
What's the point on this?
Bro, because you just went on, like, first I thought we were talking about immigration, then you like kind of went to like
This is not immigration.
Okay.
It's immigration, but the issue is the U.S. is now calling the shots on welcoming these immigrants into the country. Okay, we got that.
And a country that has nothing to do with the U.S.
Okay, what else?
To a certain extent.
That's what the US
to a certain extent.
No, to no extent. The U.S. has helped.
How many embassies are in the Dominican Republic?
There's one main one, and I'm not. They have one main embassy. I think it's two, and then some camps around the country.
Okay.
Strategically located, of course. Yes.
The last time the U.S. invaded the Dominican Republic, the Dominican Republic fought back and they kicked them out or something like that. In that sense, it was never really a kick out, but it was actually just the U.S. leaving the country.
Yes.
The influence in the country has not changed.
Okay.
It has always been present, but on a low profile.
Yeah.
But now there's all of a sudden there's a $2 billion, I don't know how many dollars it was, deal for investments in the US for a train that they want to build and some infrastructural changes that will come.
Mm-hmm.
How convenient that this is being set up. Well, in Haiti, the economy is going down. Why isn't there being help sent to Haiti? Why isn't there being aid sent to Haiti? Why isn't the economy being the democracy?
The U.S. is very good at fighting. Why are they not fighting this essentially cartels or whatever? Why are they not?
To destabilize the country, or to let the country destabilize itself? Which one of them and ends up first? And what has me going is the fact that Haiti has some of the iridium reserve, and I say some. They have the second largest iridium reserve in the world. And what's iridium? Iridium is a metal that's low corrosive but high conductivity. And what that means is all of these chip making companies or whichever purpose they're going to be used for, all these cars that are being made, will
How
have.
is it fair that you are supposedly helping and okay, I see the interest in this, right? But how is it fair that you helping and giving a hand in our side and telling us what we're gonna do?
How's it fair? Ed, do you wanna react on that? How is it fair?
I don't know where you guys are going. I don't know. Like you talking about?
Okay. So if you're gonna defend the country, okay, just so you know, this band or whatever you want to call it has already like these large groups have already let us know that as soon as they get the chance, they're gonna cross the border and they're gonna take over, which means war for sure. You understand?
Okay.
So the U.S. allowing this amount of Haitians to just come in
Oh, okay.
could cause big issues and war and a country that's at peace, as in right now.
Okay.
So war to us would ruin all these margins of like growth and all these things. Wouldn't it be better if they stayed there and we actually did aid them and help
But now
them?
you're thinking about, okay, Dominicans have to defend themselves or have to establish themselves and keep the bad things out. It sounds like that.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't it
Go for it.
more so for, okay, Haiti
just-
and the Dominican Republic are actually in the same boat
Mhm.
on the same island.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get through this rough period you are having together.
But once the U.S. picks up and leaves, I don't think they're gonna go grab the freaking Haitians that they let in. Like they're not gonna be like, oh well, we leave and you guys gotta leave too. So more than helping, isn't this counterproductive? Like twice already?
This is exactly how it will plan out. Exactly in favor of the U.S.
So
And that's the common enemy that Haiti and Dominican Republic should have, don't have, because they're seeing Haitians, Dominican Republic seeing Haitians as the enemy, and Haitians seeing the Dominican Republic's resent or refusal to aid as like, okay, now they're not willing to accept us. But then they see the U.S. as like, oh well, they are helping us on the Dominican side, so they should be the good guys. They are probably the good guys for those Haitians that are.
And then like it's been declared that they're gonna launch an attack whenever they get the chance, right? And all these things, and we have no say on this. I just believe that's crazy, especially when the U.S. already has all these issues and all these complaints about immigration over here. You're doing the same thing that's happening to you. You're doing it to us.
Well, I don't
But, like,
get this,
purpose.
Andrew. Like, didn't you just answer your own question? You figured it all out. But it only makes sense to you when it's Dominican Republic. Then it makes sense to you. But when
I
they're
thought
doing
so.
it, when they're doing it over here, you just don't understand, huh?
Well, for what I know, Dominican Republic haven't told the U.S. they have to accept these people. For what I know, as far as I know, you get it?
I don't get it, man. Like obviously you're talking about you're going to destabilize Dominican Republic by having all these Haitian immigrants, right? That's the same plan over here in the U.S. and the same plan over in Europe. Like that's what I was telling you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't see
why-
it unless it's Dominican. Now you say, oh wait, I get it now. They're just stabilizing.
Divide and conquer.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
boom.
if you bring a large part of Haitian immigrants into the country, you're gonna
I
be able
just
to oppose them
don't see.
against each other.
Okay, so okay, if why don't the Netherlands come into the U.S. and tell them like, hey, this is what's gonna happen here?
No,
We're
gonna
following the U.S.
Yeah,
what
it's the
the
other
U.S.
way around.
If the U.S. says we need humanitarian help in the Dominican Republic or in Haiti, we jump over there. We jump on a plane and we get going. Yes, because the US said we have to help. We're gonna help.
I just find it to be amazing. I mean, the only difference here, like I don't mind. You know me, nigga, we had a lot of Haitian friends over there, right? So that's not the problem. I just have a problem with the fact that the U.S. would come in and be like, "Hey, listen, this sit back. This is what we gonna do." Like, how does that work? Like, we don't have any.
It
any
seems like like we're going over the same thing, like Ed's saying, but in a different perspective, in different context, with different countries.
Absolutely, but this is kind of what I wanted to bring up. But it's okay. We can be done with this, I guess. This if it's not like whatever, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's all I had then. I just had questions on this. Different perspective. In my opinion, Ed thinks it's the same thing. I don't think so because nobody's forcing the U.S. to accept these conditions with no like nothing. Like how you just gonna land and come in and be like, yo, listen.
Bro, look. Okay, it makes sense when it's Dominican Republic. When it's the U.S., you just don't understand. Because
I don't think
you care more about the Dominican Republic than you do America.
Not true. I live here. But you're not understanding the part that
Yeah, I
concerns
get it.
me?
Like, but the same things happen in America.
That's been going on over and over
Yeah.
in different countries.
Yeah, but why? Why should you have like such a like
They're
strong
doing this
hold
all over
around?
the world, man.
Oh, Ed, you're on mute.
What are you talking about? I'm not on mute.
Your audio's not working. But
Okay.
why? That's
Oh my
the
goodness.
power thing. If they have the power, if they have the capability to do so, they will do so, and they will shut everybody down who opposes them.
Hmm.
And if they have the power to shut them down who opposes them, then they have. Oh, it's happened again with that.
But shouldn't
yeah,
we
we
have
hear you.
like terms and conditions to this? Like
You guys hear me now?
Say something else.
Dude, it just
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
we're good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry about it. I guess
Hey. Hello. Oh my goodness. This is crazy.
like a sarcastic remark, but it seems like it was true.
Hello.
Right? Like you're yeah, we're back. Ed?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
It just switched for no reason. It did it again.
well, this is my opinion, okay, real quick, and then we can be done. I'll tell you this. When it comes to my father, my own father, I think it's good that he got deported. I think he deserved to get deported.
Yeah, because he was
So you
here doing, he was up to no good.
Yeah, I agree.
And you take
that's
it
my
right, and
father.
you taking right after him.
Don't ever say that. I'm very far from that. But I'm saying like he deserved to be taken out of the way, like not killed. My dad is still alive and well, thank God. But like what I'm saying is like it's good that he got deported. They did what they were supposed to do. I'm not surprised. I don't think like when I was little, I didn't like, oh, why would they do that to this man? But now I know. And I believe in helping. I don't care who you are. I believe in giving a hand, extending a hand. I don't care who you are. But this is like a little too controlling, in my opinion. And if they doing that with like little old Dominican Republic, I believe a lot of things now that are going on overseas that I didn't like kind of understand before. That was kind of my point. I was trying to have you guys actually like help me out with this. But
Yeah, but you kind of just, you went on this whole story, you taking us through all this stuff, and it's just
because
like, whoa.
people really don't know about Dominican Republic or Haiti. They don't know the history. They don't know all these things. And I just can't jump into something assuming that people like do your homework and then watch this video. No, you already encountered this video. So I'm gonna inform you and then give you
All right,
the rest.
I got
Yeah,
you.
but it's the same story with all the smaller countries or
I was just with Dominican Republic and Haiti. I was just giving you just a little glance of
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
else.
but that's
Like-
going on all around the world, Andrew. That's going on in Europe, and they're doing the same program here. And
that was
I
my
would
point.
say it's not even America doing it. It's those international financiers who are doing it.
Well,
But we're not allowed to talk about them.
I just don't know who these financiers are, like
Yeah.
in general. Yeah,
Ed mentioned
But-
some names earlier in the
but-
episode.
yeah.
Look
Well,
back, check it out.
I'm glad I
It
brought this
sticks out,
up
so,
because
yeah,
it just sounds so familiar. You know what I mean? And that's kind of why.
that's what I keep getting frustrated about it, and I can't keep silent no more. I don't want to scream out loud, look what's happening in Gaza, but look what's happening in Gaza. I don't want to scream out loud. Don't want to keep on repeating myself, but it's
but
too
this is-
obvious to let it slide. Come on, people.
It's those
and I agree.
internationals.
But the problem is, I'm trying to bring this to the attention before it happens, because when it happens, then we can change the story. But this is currently going on. Does that make sense? After it happens, they can be like, "Oh, they've been fighting for a long time," and all these things. And no, this is what's currently happened before it happens, because I think it's inevitable. You know,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
there's no way of stopping this from happening, and that's what I see in the future. Not because they're Dominican, but like, let's catch it before it happens, so we actually have a good perspective on this. That's just my point. And when it comes to that, it gives me perspective on what's going on.
Other things. I
Yeah,
hope you guys also learned something from this interaction, but keep your eyes open and don't think it's only happening close by or near or in smaller countries, or it's all around.
yeah. If they sparkle that little thing, imagine what we're doing in great scale. When it's convenient, when there's a lot to gain. Why are we giving out money for fighting? Like Ed said, like I wanted him to say that earlier. Why are we funding fighting instead of being like, yo, listen, I'm sure we can come to an understanding. I agree with that 100%, Ed. Like, but I just wanted you to tell me that, because I'm not crazy.
Because
like, that's
these
how I feel as
international financiers, that's how they make their money, through war.
well. Unfortunately, it's
Then-
true. I
then
don't
you-
want to say I accept that or that's true, but like it is true.
And to
Like
sparkle
what
it in,
else? Yeah.
the reason why Kuwait rupees, I think it's rupees or something, rubles, is one of the most highest currencies in the world, or the Bahrain, I don't know even what they use over there, is all because certain alliances were made, certain politics, certain friends.
And you know what? Shame on me, man, because like I fell for it. I'm like, oh, they just trying to help, or they just trying to defend. No, they over here like freaking sparking shit, and then acting like you were like there to help. You like you've been helping, like you are the most humanitarian. But once I seen the Hawaii thing, I started seeing it within. You helping everybody else for no reason, but you're not helping your people. Like how? What?
How
Bro,
come all of Europe is against
the week of that fire, they sent too much money to Ukraine. They're like, oh, well, it was an extra billion in there. Well, we need to get that back.
Oops. Oh my
Yeah.
bad.
but you get it, like so.
Oh, Hawaii, we ain't got no money for you. Here's $700.
Still no money. Still no.
No, man, not forget about the money, because you can recuperate whatever money you invest in it if it was an investment. But you over here, you took people from their birthright place. I don't know. All of this is like crazy to me, man. This humanitarian help in Dominican Republic is gonna cause chaos. I see it now. I see. Now I see how it is.
Oh yeah,
Not
when it's
because
Dominican Republic, you see.
it's because I'm seeing it before it happens. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
No, I got you.
Because once it's happening and once it's in motion and once the attack is launched from one side or the other,
The media
if you
can
can
twist
tell
the
me,
story whichever way.
yeah, there you go.
Put
You know
their
what I mean?
perspective on it, and the
It-
ones
It's
that
it's,
are
it's
telling the
like that
story,
friend.
the ones that
It's like that friend you had when you was little. They like, oh, well, you heard what this person. What you gonna let that slide? You're not gonna say nothing. And that instigation is what getting started, and then you like separate them a little bit and be like, oh, this person is losing, so let me jump in and help them.
and you get punched.
So now the thing is with me, so you got beef with me, but you were in the fight all along. Like the whole time you was in this fight.
You didn't even realize. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Well, that was my point. I'm done.
Yeah. What
Thank you
else
for
we got,
watching.
man?
Oh, I don't have anything else, man.
Yeah, Ed had some interesting topics
Oh, okay.
lined up.
Oh, you muted again, Ed. You're gonna have to do something.
No, no, I muted myself that time. No,
It was we
we
wasted too much time on this.
yeah, we took too long. Yeah,
Okay.
you got to
So-
get better with your time management, man. Let's get to
Okay.
these topics, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
My bad. All right.
But yeah, that's all we got for this week's show, Unidentified Podcast.
It's on me. My bad. Thank you for watching, though.
See you on the next, and subscribe and like us if you may.
Ask questions, sir.
Wow. Your storytelling is I mean,